Hello, this is Pam. I'm a Stampin' Up! Independent demonstrator, and today I have another punch art project to share with you. This is what I call the roly-poly Santa. He's kind of round and roly-poly like the toys that I used to have when I was little. I think they were called Weeble Wobbles. But when I started making him, I was going to put arms on him. And then once I got him started and making, I thought he looked cute just the way he is. So I'm going to show you how to put him all together. There's not a whole lot of steps to him, so it shouldn't take too awful long. So the first punch that you need is the 2-inch circle punch. That's that one. And I'm going to use the same paper. This is the Under the Tree Designer Series paper. It's the real thick, it's like craft. It's double-sided there. But you need one of the 2-inch circle punches, so we'll punch one out with that. It goes rolling that way. Alright, so that's his body. And you can put the little, I think those are diamond shape, any way you want. This time I think I'll make them go up and down. The next punch that you need is the pendant punch. It's for his hat. Now if you don't have this punch, you could also use the tree punch for his hat. You would just need like the top part. You can cut the top part there, but either one will work. So we use the same paper. Now when you go to punch his hat out, whichever way that you have your pattern of your paper, make sure that you punch one out that's going in the same way. So if I punch it out this way, the pattern is going to be that direction. So I need to punch it this direction like that. So we'll slide that in and punch one of those out. This paper is very thick. It's like a craft cardstock weight. It's real thick paper. I love that paper. Designer Series paper. Okay, so the next one that you need is the scalloped oval punch. It's behind me. That is used for the trim around his belly, the trim around the hat, and then we're going to use a circle punch and then use it for the beard. Now I was kind of playing around with what shape to use for his beard. It doesn't look too bad. It almost looks like a shirt collar also, but it works. So for the hat, all I did was I come in a little bit off my paper, just about that much, and punch, and then slide your punch up again and punch. So you get a little piece like that, and that gets glued onto the end of his hat, and then we can trim that off for the ruffle trim around the top. And then for the piece around the belly, I went in a hole punch, just about halfway. I already have one over here. See, I went in about halfway, and then if you bring your paper up again and try to get it lined up the best that you can, make it a little bit wider, and punch again, then you'll get a band that will go from side to side across the belly there. That's for like his coat. So we can go ahead now and glue those two pieces. Now usually if you see me do punch art, I always use my excuse me, Tombow liquid glue. But these pieces are pretty thin and small, especially the little mouth and his mustache there. So I am going to use the two-way glue pen today on this. It's got, you can use just the corner tip of it too. You don't have to use the whole flat part. So I can get right in there, and if you need to get the glue going in it, you push down on it, and the glue comes out that way. And you can, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's blue when it comes out, but it dries clear. Alright, so let's pick that up, and we're just gonna put that a little bit towards the bottom, and make sure kind of it's centered from side to side. Alright, so that part's done. And then as for his hat, on the original one, I rounded the corners off on his hat, and I mean, you could do that, but I think I'm going to leave it just the way it is, because when we put this trim on there, we're going to be trimming these pieces off, and it does make his hat a little wider. So all I did was just put some of this glue just right at the bottom, and then take this scalloped piece and put it right at the bottom, just covering up the edge of that hat. Hold it down just a little bit, just like that, and then you can just take your scissors and turn it over and trim the bottom of that off. Just follow the shape of the pennant there. Whoops, that obviously didn't stick. It's still sticky. Now I got it. I don't know where I lined it there. Oh, that'll work. Oh, that's way too much glue. This designer series paper is, like I said, it's very thick. Usually when I put it on a card front, I use the fast fuse glue, because it's pretty heavy, and it takes a lot. I think a lot of glue to hold it down. But I just didn't hold this liquid glue down enough. And if you happen to get the sticky on it, you can use your eraser tool. I'm not sure where mine is at the moment. There it is. You can use this. It looks like an eraser, but it's to get adhesive off of your cardstock. As you can see, I got some there on his hat. See, takes it right off. Works great. Alright, so the next thing we'll do is make his little beard piece there. And what I did with that one is used 1 and I think it's 3/8. This is the old style punch. This is a 1 3/8 inch circle, and I've punched one out with the Very Vanilla. So just slide that up in there, punch. And to get the bottom of the little beard there, I took the scalloped oval again, and then I took my circle punch and I slid it from the back side in. So get it in between where it punches, and try to line up your edges a little bit, and punch. So then you get that shape. So that's what I did to get his little beard, and it's going to get attached just about there. It hangs off the back just about that much. So when I put my glue on, I didn't quite get to the top. See, if you push down on that, you get your glue to come out a little bit more. So just leave the top part free of glue. You don't have to put any on there because it's not going to be attaching to any paper. And line it up in the center there. We'll hold that down just a little bit because it's getting glued onto that heavy designer series paper. Alright, now for his face, this is punched out with the 1-inch, I think, yes, the 1-inch circle punch. And the Blushing Bride cardstock I first was going to use for his face, and I thought that was a little bit too dark pink. So I took my cardstock circle there, and I took the Blushing Bride ink, and I just took my sponge into the ink, and then I just lightly sponged all the way around the circle, and I think that gives a lot better skin tone. And then for the nose, I did the same thing. Let's see, here's my cardstock. I sponged just a little bit of the cardstock there, and then I used the 1/4-inch handheld punch and punched a circle out for his nose, which I don't have yet. So we'll do that. And this punch, it holds it into the little compartment at the bottom, so just flip it out there. So that's his nose, same color then as his face. So we can go ahead and glue this down. And on this one, it does peek out just a little bit. Not sure what I got on his face. We'll put that at the top. The hat will hide that. I think I got glue on it. Alright, so the same thing. Put some glue on the back. Leave a little bit at the top, free of glue. We'll put a little bit more on there. You can grab it. Okay, it gets put on centered and close to the bottom because this is going to be like his chin. I have glue on the ends of my fingers, so just hold that down a little bit. There, now his head's on. Now we're going to put his mouth, and it is punched out with that same handheld punch, the 1/4-inch punch. I believe that is the Blushing Bride cardstock. It's very tiny there. So to attach these little pieces, I have these pair of tweezers that I bought a really long time ago. I call them the backwards tweezers, because when you pinch it, it opens up. Instead of, you know, like traditional tweezers, you have to hold down. This one you pinch open and then it holds it. I love those. Oops, I don't know. I'm sure there is some in the craft store that you can buy like that, but I like that. I love those tweezers. Alright, so a little bit of glue on the back of that. Let me try to get it over here away from my work surface so I don't get glue on it. Little dab of glue on the back of that, and put this in the center towards the bottom. So this is going to be his mouth. It looks big, but it'll get covered up by his mustache pieces there, and then his nose. So that's in the center. Good. Now for his mustache, I have used the Bird Builder punch. We're going to be using the leaves there. So I took another piece of the Whisper White, and you only need this top. I only use the top. Let's get away from my inked side there. So just the largest leaf is all you need. So you need 2 of those. And then if you have the extra pieces there, just take your scissors and trim those off. So there's the one, and there's the second one, and I, again, I'm going to use the tweezers because they're very tiny, and my hands shake way too much to try to hold that. Alright. Can't even pick them up hardly. So get your tweezers. If you have regular tweezers, those will work too. I'm getting glue all over because it's stuck to my fingers. Okay, so there's the one side of the mustache. And I'm just going to use the corner again of my, of my glue. I think that's enough. And put that kind of in the center. I can't get it there. Kind of in the center of the circle of his mouth. I think I moved it. And this glue does have a little bit more wiggle room, just like the Tombow adhesive. It doesn't stick exactly the minute you set it down. So I like that too. And then there's his other little mustache. So we'll grab a hold of that with the tweezers and turn it over and put a little bit of adhesive on it. Get it stuck down. And it goes on to the other side. And we'll hold that down a second. And then his nose is going to go right in the center. So that'll help cover up that little piece of the pink for his mouth. So let's turn that over. And another bit of glue. Just make sure you put the adhesive on the correct side. This is the side that we inked. So you want the plain side. Try and get a little bit more glue out of there without getting it too much. That's good. And then put the nose just about like that, leaving just a little bit of his mouth showing at the bottom. And hold that down a minute. Alright, now we can put his hat on. And I put glue just on the back of his hat because you're not going to use a whole, or need a whole lot, because it hangs way off the top of his head. So just run some of this glue just at the bottom, because if it hangs off the back and it's a little tacky, that doesn't matter, because whatever you attach this to, a card front or a tag or something, that'll be fine. You're going to glue it down anyways. So just center up his hat and hold that down on his head. You can even turn it over. See, it sticks way out above his head there. Get that to stick. And see, that one makes his hat a little bit wider than this one is where I used the corner rounder. I actually just stuck the whole corner of the pennant in there and rounded it off. But either way is fine. Alright, now for his eyes, I used, again, the black permanent marker, and I colored them right onto the sheet. The pearls, this is the medium-sized pearls, and I've let those dry. Hopefully that they're dry enough that I won't get this one. I got a little bit of black on the top right there. So just make sure you let those dry well before putting them onto your project. And I'm using my paper piercing tool to pick those up. Stick them right there onto the end. It acts like a little handle there. And I didn't push down all the way on that adhesive because I want to make sure that I get his eyes in the right spot. And that one looks good. So now you can push them down and get the adhesive to stick. And then the last thing I did was add a large pearl to his hat. So take one of the big ones. This one's a little bit harder to stick onto the end of his hat because it's right on that point. But it'll work. It might stick to my paper. Nope, it worked. Cute, roly-poly little Santa. He has no arms, but he's cute anyways. He does look like one of those little toys that you can find. The really old ones were metal even, little toys, but I think he's cute. And I also made him a little friend. He has no eyes, but this is supposed to be his little elf helper. He's basically made the same way. I just used the green paper, and then for his beard and his mustache, I used Tangerine Tango cardstock. He has no eyeballs yet. He almost looks like a leprechaun, which would be cute for St. Patrick's Day. You could use him too. But there's Santa and his little elf helper. They'd be cute on tags or on cards. You could even use it as embellishment on a scrapbook page for Christmas. So that's all the tutorial I have for you today. If you want to visit my blog for more projects, it is wearestampers.blogspot.com. Thanks for watching today. I'll see you next time. Bye.